Hello, Internet, and welcome to Comic Book Talks for this week, which is the week of June 22nd, or June 20, whatever, 2014. Well, it's June 22nd, but the comics came out on the Wednesday, so. And since it's like almost the next week, I don't want to get like confused on like what week it is. But whatever, on to the video. So, this week, what I'm reading, I'm going to start off with Uncanny X-Men number 22, which I just read. And then Punisher number 7, and then X-Men number 15. I also picked up Thunderbolts 27 and Avengers 31, but since I haven't really been talking about those, I don't want to like just jump into them mid-story arcs and like, not like, whereas these other books I've been reading, I've been talking about them in the comic book talk, so it's like it's going to keep on going with like whatever has been going down the storyline. So let's get started. So Uncanny X-Men 22, everything, well, not everything, but yeah. Stuff goes down, stuff gets wrapped up. It was great, like just a nice story arc conclusion and everything. And yeah, man, if you're not reading it now, you should be, and you're missing out if you're not. But so what happens is the last issue, it ended off where Beast is like, I know who did it, I know who's behind it, but at the same time, there's a incoming aircraft at the New Xavier School, and then the psychics can't. It's like too far out for like the psychics to like tell who it is or whatever, or they can't get any readings. And this issue, it's like coming closer, and they're like, well, we can't pick up who's on it. Somebody's somebody's badly injured, and then someone's like shielding themselves from psychic attacks. And then it turns out to be Magneto and Dazzler, so they land there, and then Triage heals Dazzler, and then she wakes up and she's like, ah. And then, and she's like, where's Mystique? And it's like, oh. So, and then she's like, give me a Walkman. I need music. And then, someone's like, what kind of music? And she's like, really loud music. So it's like, oh, Dazzler's back. And she's really angry with Mystique, and she's about to get revenge. And then we, go back to Westchester, and it's in the streets showing some civilians as the helicarriers are coming, because from the last issue, essentially what happened was like the helicarriers got taken over and started attacking the school, but we're not back at that part yet. We're just at like right outside the city, and they're getting attacked, and then some dude gets out of his car, he's like, oh, what's going on here? And then, and then like he turns, and everybody's like, oh, it looks like Shield's going to take out the X-Men, I guess we should all get inside. But he turns around and his car's gone, and then you see that Hijack has taken it, and he's speeding away, I bet presumably to the Jean Grey School. And then we're back at the Jean Grey School. Stuff is still going down, and it's just like the school is still getting just blown up by helicarriers, and it's just mayhem and chaos everywhere. And then Beast is like, everybody evacuate the school. I know who did this. Mariel is still like, okay, let's get the White House and the Avengers Tower on the line, because these helicarriers have been hijacked and compromised. We gotta get this taken care of. And then we keep going back to like the fishbowl head person. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to spoil it. You need to read this issue if you want to find out who it is. And then they're all, say who he's all like, say who it is, Doctor. Say who's the one who's tearing the school apart. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's happening. And then like for a while, it's like just the helicarriers going to town on the school. And then in the middle of the fight, Marie Hill's like, Agent Dazzler, and like yelling at her to do something, and she's just like completely ignoring her. And then like in the middle of all this, you see a radioactive, I think that's radioactive symbol, or I guess like nuclear symbol. It's like it like goes alive. So the dude, or I'm sorry, well, it's not. I didn't say who it was, but like the person controlling the helicarrier who's hijacked it has made their payload go live, and they're about to drop a nuke on the school. And then as the helicarrier is still attacking, there's like a flood of sentinels that pop out, and then they look really advanced compared to the sentinels that are already there. And then then Iceman's like, sentinels and helicarriers. And then Kid Omega's like, come on. And then the Sentinels land, but then they don't have any. They're like they just sit there and don't do anything, and everybody's like, why'd they stop? Like, why are they attacking? And then it goes back to the fishbowl person, And then they're like, attack! Why are they attacking? And so, as they're not attacking, Maria Hill shoots one, and then all of a sudden you get it cuts back to the cockpit or control room of the helicarrier, and they're like, Maria Hill, we don't know if you're going to believe this, but our Commander Hill, the helicarriers that were, or something has taken control of the helicarrier away from whoever or whatever took control of the helicarrier before. So yeah, and then the helicarriers start attacking the Sentinels, and then you see the fishbowl person, and he's like, no, and then it goes back to Cyclops and Magic and Beast, and then Beast is like, okay, I know who did this, and then Cyclops is like, only one mutant I know that could do this, and then or he's talking about as far as like hijacking the helicarriers, to attack the Sentinels, and he's like, hijack, and so Cyclops is all, going to lead everybody in the offensive, but then Beast is like, I know who did this, and I tracked them to where it's coming from, so let's go and take them down. And so, and it's funny because like they keep ending the sentences on like someone will say who is it or who did it, and then or like Beast will be like, I know who it is, I know who did it, but like he won't actually say who it was, so it's like it keeps the suspense going of like who did it. And then so basically Hijack saves the day, and then but like before this happens, Magic teleports back to the new Xavier school to get the Uncanny team, and then teleport them back because they think they're about to ramp up for a fight before Beast tells them everything he knows. And so Dazzler's there, and she's like, yeah, bring me along too, because I want to get Mystique. And then so it goes back to the fishbowl person, and then he's just like, curses, I should have dropped that nuke on those bastards. Grrr. And then Beast and Cyclops are like sneak up right behind him because they know where he's at, and they track him, and then he doesn't see him coming, and then Cyclops just like blasts him with an optic blast, and then it shatters open his the person's fishbowl helmet, and you get to see who it is, and there's stuff talking about blah 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 blah, it was me, blah 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 stuff. And Cyclops and Beast are like, or Cyclops was like, I knew, or I'm not gonna say about that, but yeah. Anyway, and then while they're doing that, there's like a timer on the screen, and it's counting down, and he's like, Magic, hijack my position now, and then Magic teleports him in there. He stops the presumably explosion / bomb / whatever from going off, and the day is saved. But there's an aftermath. So you have Maria Hill being all right, they're gonna quarantine this whole area, and then just decommission all these helicarriers. Nobody leaves the premises. We're gonna scrub this place down and clean, and investigate what just happened. And then after Beast and Cyclops tell her who did it, she's all like, ha, I knew it. Or not I knew it, but like, see, this is what happens when you mess with the time stream, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And Cyclops is like, oh yeah, well, you guys are supposed to protect the world and whatever, and we just got attacked, and the school almost got destroyed. That wasn't a very good job, Commander Hill. Yeah, way to go, S.H.I.E.L.D. And then then Commander Hill's all like, Dazzler, you're under arrest. And then she's all like, what are you talking about? I was kidnapped. That wasn't me. You can't do that. And then she's like, okay, well, maybe this whole mutant liaison thing didn't work out, so we're gonna change the way we operate and deal with this whole mutant situation again, starting now. And then she walks off. And then, well, like before she does that, like Dazzler's all like, see, this proves it. This proves that S.H.I.E.L.D., you don't know what you guys are doing, or not that. I'm sorry. She's like, it proves to me that I know even more who I am now. I'm not some agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm an X-Man. And she's like, I'm out of S.H.I.E.L.D. F S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, she doesn't say that, but like, that's the feeling that comes off when she says that. And then like Maria Hill's just like, well, Mystique was behind this. I gotta find her. Good luck with that. Or we're gonna find her. We're gonna track her down, and yeah, so we're gonna change the way we deal with the mutant situation. And yeah, and then it ends with like a funny Iceman one-liner, and he's like, "Ha," or he isn't okay. He doesn't say "ha," but he's like, "Can you just like see all this debris in front of the school, and like just craters and Sentinels just exploded, or not exploded, but like just laying there. And he's like, well, I am not cleaning this up. I'll tell you that right now. And that's it for the issue. And it's like, next issue, Original Sin, The Last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier. So I guess it'll be a Original Sin tie-in, which I'm not reading, so But yeah, it's like I got everything I wanted out of this issue. I got the whole who was behind it, and then it was like more than that, because it was like everything that had been leading into this, and like, well, except for the Mystique thing, but whatever. So it's like, the whole Dazzler thing, the whole that, and then the whole X-Men versus S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, and the whole person behind it, and then, it was great. I really enjoyed this issue. And, if you hadn't been reading until now and, like, you just jump in, you'll, like, miss out on all the build-up, but you'll be able to, like, just jump on, and I guess for the next, the next issue might just be who knows what, but then, like, I guess the issue after that might be a new story arc, unless it's the annual. I don't know if it is or not, but, yeah, it's great. I loved it. Uncanny X-Men, yes. And then, let's see, the next issue I will be reading will be Punisher number 7, because I'm enjoying that a lot more than X-Men right now, and I kind of keep forgetting what's happening in X-Men, but I don't keep forgetting. It's just like, it's with the whole Shogo and his dad thing. It's just, I'm not feeling it as much as the Punisher storyline, especially with that like ending of the Howling Commandos at the end of the last issue. So that's what I'm about to cover next after this. All right, I'm back talking about the Punisher number 7. So at the end of the last issue, after getting shot with a tracer round, the Howling Commandos are able to like put one in the chest of the Punisher, and he like falls over on the bus he's on, but apparently he is not captured or killed. So this issue picks up southern Mexico, some narration. So he's all like, the last few days have been a blur. He's on this bus, and he's like, I've switched buses a couple times, Tijuana, Mexico City, just kept going south. And so apparently on this bus, like, you see that he is still wounded, and then he says in the narration, he's like, I was bleeding out, I needed to find help. So he's still, slowly dying, but he's not dead yet. And then he's like, even if it meant exposing myself. So he gets fixed up by some like I guess like backdoor doctor through some connections or something. And then turns out that the doctor's like working for some other dudes, or I guess like he's not like a legit doctor that he can trust, and since they know who he is, he's kind of putting himself in danger. And so that's basically what happens. He's taken in by this cop who's on the take, and then from there he's put in a cargo truck and like shipped to this compound, and you find out that there's some dude there waiting to hold him. And then, the guy's like, yeah, Castle, after what you did to the Dos Solos, or Dos Sols, I don't know how to pronounce that. A lot of people are, looking for you, and you're high up on the list. Not that you aren't always. And so that happens, and then you see a drone hovering above the compound. So but it's never implied or stated, like, who is controlling the drone. So it's like, I think that the drone is the Howling Commandos, and that it's possible that they were just using him as bait to draw out the person that he went in to beat, that he was captured by. However, that's what I thought at that point in the story. But like later on, stuff happens, and I'm like, I don't know where it's going. So that happens. You see this drone like hovering over, and it's like, any friendlies nearby, and it's like negative. You see, like, or you hear the radio chatter, which is pretty cool in this issue. They like have a bunch of that. And it's like, you see a bunch of acronyms, and then like it's explained in the like the info boxes in the bottom right, like what stuff means. It's pretty cool. But that happens, and then like Frank is basically there. He's handcuffed, and they disarmed him. And so then he's led into a interrogation room / torture room type place. But he's informed by the guy holding him. I forgot what his name is. Not important. That they're not going to kill him, so they're just going to like torture him or whatever, soften him up a bit. And then it's funny because they've like drawn like a little skull on his chest, I guess, to like mock him. And then like the people interrogating him are wearing his gear, so it's kind of funny. So that's happening. and then yeah, the the head dude is uh beating him up and stuff, and then he hits him in the part where he got like stitches to like cover the or sutures to like cover the bullet wound, and then like he'll like stop his bleeding, and then like he screams out like "Arr!" And then the dude's like, "All right, 10,000 to the next guy," that make him scream or whatever. And so the other dudes get to interrogating him, but it's kind of short lived because he like bites off one of the dude's thumbs, bites off the thumb of one of the dudes, and then he's thrown in the cell with some other American that was there that they keep referring to as like the other American, and you find out that it's a medic for a special operations group, and that's operating in the area, but they don't say like why they're operating in the area, so that's interesting. Or later on, all this stuff like adds up, but like you're just like slowly getting like all the info as like you go along. And so he's just like, yeah, I'm a medic for like a search and rescue team that was or combat search and rescue team that was in the area and stuff. And Punisher's like, okay, well, check my boot, rip the insole before they come out, and then like apparently has like lock picks in there because he's prepared for any situation. And then so you have, let's see, who's the dude talking to? I'm trying to figure out this guy's name. Okay, Mr. Ortiz. That's the guy. Why don't his first name's irrelevant? Whatever. Mr. Ortiz. So that's the dude that's captured the Punisher, who's like facilitating this deal to exchange him for money. Because that was mentioned like earlier. Like he's like apparently I'm being bought and sold. When the cop comes to take him from the hospital, he's like, or the backroom medic or clinic. Like, apparently I'm being bought and sold in exchange for money, blah, blah, blah. Someone wants to get me. And then you find out here, it's Mr. Ortiz is just, like, facilitating a deal. He's not actually or, like, you find out who's the person that he's holding him for is. And you find out it's Crossbones. And he's in this, like, little military jet thing. And he's got his dudes. Like, he's got, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's, like, 5 dudes on panel. There could be more, who knows, whatever. And he's like this like little not helicarrier, but like this little helicopter, weird rotor looking, double rotor plane thing going on. And he's like, all right, well, the money has been exchanged, blah blah blah, to your account, blah blah blah. We're on our way. And then the prisoner dude and Punisher, after they get him out of the handcuffs, proceed to bust out of the. Well, and then like also since he's a medic, he like kind of fixes up some of the Punisher's wounds and stuff a bit or whatever. That like the stuff that he can fix, he fixes, but other stuff like the pain and the swelling, not so much. So, or not the pain. What anyway? So yeah, as Crossbones, like it's like you find out Crossbones is the dude that's trying to get Punisher and stuff. They break out of their cell and they proceed to just like mop up the place of all the henchmen of Mr. Ortiz. And then they find a radio in the equipment room with all the gear that the henchmen had. Okay, I guess I should like clarify. They don't take out like all the henchmen all at once, but they take out like one little like meeting room, and then they like slowly go from like through the compound to like clear it. But they find this radio, and then they're able to get in contact with the drone circling overhead. Let's see what they say. Yeah, like the medic dude's like, okay, this might come in handy. We had a Reaper drone providing ISR for us. If he's still up there, he could cover our escape. And then it like has a little info box in the bottom right, like asterisk. It means intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, usually provided by a Predator or Reaper drone. So I thought that was pretty cool. It has like all these little like info boxes of like what they're talking about, what it means. And so he's able to get in contact with them, and they're like, okay, we're about to like, get out of here. Can you provide support or what's it called? Cluster support. Yeah, CAS. Yeah, blah blah. And so the medic dude scouts the area as Crossbones' group is landing and like calls in the positions to the Reaper operator dude or person. It could be an odd dude. And then like right before he coordinates all the positions of the well, not all the positions. He's just like telling the drone operator like, okay, well, there's this many people, we're this close, danger close, whatever. Whoops, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Like for some reason lately, Comixology, like whenever I'm reading something, it'll just like freeze. Like when I get to certain, well, it won't really freeze. It'll just like not load any more pages, and I have to reload the comic or whatever by like hitting back and then going back into it. But it's whatever. So the bombs are about to drop, and then it's cool because it's like the Reaper. I mean, not the Reaper. Mass Effect. The drone operator is like radioing the medic dude like copy dagger, ready your read you Lima Charlie. We are troops in contact, and then it says Lima Charlie means loud and clear. Troops in contact means we're coming under fire. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, Frank's basically just like taking out the last of the henchmen of Mr. Ortiz, and then Crossbones hands him like this briefcase. I'm assuming of money, and then right before like one dude's about to like investigate the building, he's like, "Oh, where's all our dudes at? Or what's taking so long to get the Punisher out here?" And he just like creaks it open, and then bam, splat right in the face, or not face, but like in the head. Pressure shoots him. And he's like, "Go, go!" And like, so the medic dude jumps into the truck, and then Pressure jumps in the truck, and they're like, "All right." Or then like the medic dude's like radioing to the drone operator, "Okay, we're in the truck. We're getting out of here." And then they drop some predator strikes on them. It's pretty cool. And then there's like explosions, and then they're escaping. But before they can get away, Crossbones is like, "Aim for the engine block," and just like there's a knife. Actually, there's like a bunch of knives, but like you see him throw one, but then like there's multiple knives thrown after that one, and then like he just takes out the engine block with like one knife. It's pretty cool. And then so they're not able to get away. Medic's kind of wounded, but not too badly from one of the knives. And then the radio does not survive the encounter, so they cannot contact the drone to be like, "Dude, take him out, blow him up." But oh yeah, and then like the medic's like, "Who the hell was that guy? He one of those mutants?" Because he threw a knife through the entire engine block. And then the Punisher's like, "No, it's Crossbones." Explains the situation. He almost killed Captain America a few times. Stuff's going down. Yeah, apparently, I have a lot of friends that are after me. But yeah, then as they're leaving the compound and they're going into the foresty area, that the medic dude was like, "Well, this is where this is where we were positioned or whatever." He sees one of his dudes, and he starts to patch him up. And then Punisher's like, check if he has any ammo. Dude, the Crossbone and his dudes are, on their way to get us. And then Crossbones is like, "Okay, Mr. Ortiz, you better hope that we find Castle, because if we don't, we're going to take it out on you instead." And yeah. And then he says, "I wonder why they had a drone watching you guys for this long. You're just a 2-bit cartel leader." And then Mr. Ortiz is like, "Well, maybe I'm more than a 2-bit cartel leader. So maybe there's more going on here as far as like what is going down with Ortiz and stuff." But firefight breaks out, and then the medic dude's like, "Well, I don't think we can hold him." And then Punisher's like, "Well, we can't, but leave me the grenades and get your guys out of here. I'll finish this." And he puts his mask on, his cool Punisher mask thingy I didn't even know he had until I read it in that one issue. And it's like, it doesn't say to be continued, but it's like Skullface and to be continued. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen next issue? Is the drone being commanded by the Howling Commandos, or is it by somebody else? Who knows? Because I think it was like the Crossbones dude was like, "I think it's S.H.I.E.L.D." But I was like, "Dude, I don't think it's S.H.I.E.L.D." So we'll see. Or like, will the Howling Commandos come back? Who knows? I'm pretty sure they will, because there's a kill order and he's not dead. So I think they're coming back, but maybe not until like way later. And I guess we'll have to wait and see like whose drone it was, or was it just some random mission by the military? It's like completely unrelated to the Howling Commandos, but they'd find out about it anyway, because they're like, they're in the military. So yeah. But that was it for Punisher number 7, and I'll be coming back after this with X-Men number 15. Alright, just read X-Men number 15. Pretty good. So It's basically been following the future, who is Shogo's dad, trying to get him from the junior school, and then but he's like a pretty dangerous dude. And in this issue, you find out that the stuff that's happened in the previous two issues, because of Chimera, has actually been altered from the way that things would have happened in her timeline. So it's like some more ripples in the ramifications of the Battle of the Atom stuff. And like she also explains like why she stayed behind when all the other future X-Men went back. But yeah, let's get started. So we start off. The Jean Grey school is on lockdown, and then you have this confrontation between Jubilee and the future, who is Shogo's dad. And then basically she like goes into vampire form, attacks him. They have this conversation, but like nothing like important is said. And then yeah, she like mocks like the name that they gave him, but like whatever. So basically, he handles her like with no problem, takes Shogo, and then it cuts back to the last issue when like Storm was like confronting Chimera about like what exactly do you know, like why are you here? And then Chimera is telling them, in the future or in her timeline, stuff goes down that basically, like I guess irreversibly damages Jubilee and Shogo, that they can't, like it's like traumatic stress or something happens that they like don't get over for like the next 15 years. And then also like Jubilee is like maimed in the attack, so that happens too, which is I guess like why she had that scar on her face in the Battle of the Atom. But yeah, that happens, and then it's cool because like Storm is all like Monette says something about, okay, I'm not sure that means it's permissible to execute prisoners on school grounds, Chimera, and then Storm's all like, I disagree. Being all like chaotic good, but then it's weird because like they technically didn't execute the prisoner. He blew up because he had a bomb, unless like Chimera blew him up by touching his forehead. But I don't think that happened. But whatever, maybe it did. And like so, yeah. Basically, Storm's like, okay, well, I'll take this intel that you gave us, and I choose to help you. And then Psylocke's like, well, I guess not just Psylocke, but like Rachel Grey as well. But they're both like, this is the Storm that we like when she's, taking chances and doing stuff against the grain. And then Monette objects, and she's like, well, there's going to be other people that object. And she's like, well, let them object. Whatever. It's pretty cool. She doesn't say that. It's like, she just says something like way more cooler, but it's like, I'm pretty long on this video, and I kind of want to just get to the point and like, do this wrap up pretty fast on this one. But, that happens, and it cuts to Beast Lab, and you have, wow, I forgot that dude's name, but, that guy that got shot, and then, Sprite, and then Beast is working on him, and then it's a cool conversation, because, like, you have Jubilee saying, Hank, you're like this rock that it's always here to protect the X-Men, and you're always going to be here, and, I have faith in you. Well, she doesn't say, like, well, yeah, like she says that, and then like as like she said that, I was like, I guess like even though he does kind of like do some stuff sometimes that's like breaking the time stream or whatever, it's always in like good intentions. Or I guess that's like his fatal flaw is like he'll do like whatever he can, even if it is like outside of his ethics to protect the X-Men. And then he shows her that he has like this little sample of Archaea in like a petri dish, but it's brain dead, and like that's how he explains it. And like he's basically just like turning on and off certain parts of it as he's trying to like figure out a workaround on the poison and like a way to heal Primal. Was that his name? Whatever. Those the two injured mutants from the first part of the story arc. And yeah, that happens. And then after he tells Jubilee that, she's like, wait, you're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do. You're not going to inject them with the Archaea sample, and he's like, I can't really think of anything else, man. This is my last ditch effort here. I'm trying anything I can, but it's not working. And then yeah, she also like flips out when like when she finds out like he has an Archaea sample, but then he's like, it's brain dead. It's totally cool. It's not going to kill us and stuff. Hopefully, I guess we'll find out. And then you have this interesting part when like Chimera and Archaea, did I just say Archaea? Chimera and Storm are talking, and so I'm wondering like what the future timeline happens, because apparently Storm's like, well, even if I die and like in this showdown with the future as we're trying to take him down, it's like it was totally like it's totally worth it because I don't want like the way we saw Jubilee in the future is like so different, and yeah, and like even though you think you don't have any ties here, I'm still your mom, and whatever. So it's like, yeah, they're like just gearing up for battle, and then it's like the next day it's like dawn, and then Rachel Gray's like, all right, everybody report in, and then they're just it's like, okay, the coast is clear, but then you have Psylocke go over to like some gardening looking dude, and then she's like, wait, who are you? You're not supposed to be here. And it turns out to be the future, and he attacks her, and so instead of like telepathically alarming everybody, she just engages in combat with him, and then like right before she's about to like tell everybody that like, oh, it's the future, he's here, blah blah blah, she gets incapacitated and knocked out. And then you have like this monologue or like narration from the future, and he's like, this is not, or like the way that they're reacting to the situation is not how I would have planned it to go through, and I have been planning on this for months or whatever. So I didn't expect them to kill my partner. I didn't expect them to. Well, I guess. Oh yeah, he's like, the steps they've taken are a bit more severe than I would have expected. And then he gets to Jubilee, and he's like, okay, put the baby down, and then but basically, okay, so essentially what you have here is it's a similar confrontation to like the beginning of the issue. However, things are different because the way it plays out is different, and like the dialogue's different. So as he's talking to Jubilee, he has like this little monologue of like, okay, well, I'd counted on them not killing my partner, but they did, so maybe something's not right here, and there's something that is like I can't predict to happen that's going to happen. And so instead of, whereas the opening scene with him and Jubilee, he basically just like slammed her to the ground or something, and she's in vampire form. This one, before she can even like go into vampire form, he just like shoots her. Well, he doesn't like shoot her. The bullet like grazes her head, but it doesn't look like there's like no major damage. She's not like bleeding out or anything crazy. And so he does that, and then she's incapacitated, and then like instead of at the beginning of the issue, he walks off with Shogo. In this part, he walks off with Jubilee. So it's like, because she's like, okay, if you take Shogo, the X-Men are gonna hunt you down to the end of the earth, and you're never gonna. And we won't sleep until we've brought him back, and you're not gonna escape from this scot free. And so he like instead shoots her and then takes her, and so it's like to be continued. So we don't know how that's gonna go. So that'll be interesting. Like just how is it gonna change in this timeline versus Chimera's timeline? And then we have Burma Superior Part 3, which I think is the final part after you see the conclusion. It's not really too long of a backup story. So basically, at the end of the last issue, Hellion ran in to just like attack all the what is this called, cavalry units or whatever, the units that are not archers, the melee troops. And so that's happening. And then like Psylocke shoots this telekinetic bow and arrow into like the back of one of the dudes right before he's about to attack Hellion, since the safeties are off in the danger room, and like saves him. And then oh yeah. Wow, I forgot all the names. But the green guy that can heal himself. Well, not all the names, like Rockslide, Brew, and then Hellion. But then like the green dude, I forgot his name, is like, what are you trying to prove, Hellion? Like, just you're too over the top here. And then Psylocke saves him, and then Brew's like, what are you trying to? Or like he says the same thing. Like he's like, oh yeah, I think the same thing could apply to what you're doing here, Miss Braddock. And so that happens, and then essentially she ends the program. She's like, okay, in danger room program, authorization, Braddock. And then there's just a conversation that happens of, the main point is that Hellion's like, well, everybody outside the danger room, or everybody in the school right now is on lockdown, and we're all afraid that the future's gonna like come here and kill us all, and like, or we can't do anything to stop them. And then we're just as qualified as you teachers are, but you won't let us form a team or join the team or whatever, and we could die, and like, we're in danger just as you guys are, and we can't defend ourselves. And then Psylocke makes the point of, well, in the danger room, when the safeties are on and not off, You can't just rely on being able to go to the med bay where bees can patch you up, or just have a school full of mutants ready to back you if something happens. When you're in the field, stuff goes down. You only have your teammates, and you gotta trust them. And they're not your teammates; they're your friends as well, because X-Men are family. So it's like, yeah, we all trust each other, and we're all friends. And then she's like, that's why he can't just go in guns blazing, be acting all off the rails like you're in the danger room the safety programs are on. But then she's like, but I like your effort, A for effort. So every one of you consider yourselves on standby for this mission, and now get out of my danger room program, and I'll and then oh yeah, and then like before, and then like the last, and it was weird. Like apparently, I guess like the danger room program soldier thing that was attacking Hellion was like her boyfriend or something, which is weird. Whatever, I didn't get that part. And then so like she's about to like, she's like, and then like, okay, so this is like the end of the second story, and then she says, danger room, select last run file, and then danger room's like, shall I restore and restart Psylocke? That's a terrible danger room voice, whatever. And then she pauses, and then she's like, no, it's over. Delete all copies and backups. So she deletes her boyfriend. Her that was some danger room file thing. And then the danger room training program that she'd made, that was like all medieval and stuff. And that's that. And that's the end of the issue. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. So yeah. And yeah. Kind of wasn't worried. A bit worried about this series, because it's kind of like I don't know where it's going, but like I like to see that it's focusing back on, well, not focusing back on, but like I like the current arc is like focused on like Shogun Jubilee, because that's like one of the reasons I like got into it in the beginning anyway. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what the next backup story is, because that was fun, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that was it for the comic story this week. Definitely my pick of the week. Well, I haven't read Avengers or Thunderbolts, but from what I've read so far, because I'm about to get ready to go to work, I would say for sure is Uncanny X-Men, or the books covered in this video. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this comic book talk for this week, and that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends, or not. That's cool too. And until you see or hear from me again, thanks for watching, and I'm now signing off.